Hey viewers, it's Rich, official of the Husky. I'm just walking around the block and there's people yelling out, "We know," alluding to the voices in my home, which are placed there at the V2K and plausible deniability. And the funny thing is, they bade me all the time for a long time. "You're a rapist, you're a pedophile, we hate you, kill yourself." And it's V2K, it's the authorities doing it. And as we know, people like to believe in authority and they give their permission to it and they don't question it. But I'm a person who's only got an allegiance to God, not the government, because the government's basically conspired to murder me, set me up, and then when I died, I was revived from death and they covered it up and forced me to live in my car under the NDIS, and that's against their principles and their policies to have a disabled person living in a car. So, yeah, I don't have an allegiance to the government, that's for sure. And the thing is, everyone seems on board with this, and I can't find a critical thinking, intelligent and independent person to be on my side. Let me tell you a few basic facts. So, every police officer is in on this. I can't report crime to police, and the oversights IBAC and ICAC can't do that either. That clearly indicates not only institutional complicity, but a conspiracy. And I've been saying this for a long time, and we can add to that the people who are implicit in this conspiracy, every single lawyer, because I have never had a lawyer, and they're all dependent on the legal bar, which is just a structure of the federal government, and the federal government has targeted me for destruction. And so we can add all lawyers, all public officials. All public officials have acted towards my detriment and in corrupt decisions which would cause my financial destitution and my detriment. That's how you destroy someone. You attack them in the money, and that's, I've been attacked in the money, that's for sure. And you also attack their reputation. So what you do is you set them up as a pedophile, as a rapist, whatever you want to do, whether it's real, false, as long as it's believable, you know. And who doesn't believe that I'm gay and I've had regretful sex? The thing is, the government keep trying to coerce me into doing something wrong, and I really never have. I've never had sex with a child. There are no child victims in my life. The idea is abhorrent to me. And there's no rape victims. Hi Debbie, have you got something to say? That was regretful sex. That was consensual, and weaponised the whole police force against me to create a conspiracy and poofta bashing to this day. But anyway, so the government keep baiting me with all these young cubs who come into my life on Grindr and stuff. I get rid of the really young ones and the illegal ones. And I'm like, well, if the government wants to send me, you know, cute, stocky, hairy fuckboys to try and frame me, well, I'll just take the bait. And so if these state actors come into my life, and I get high with them and fuck them, a bit of a fuck toy, and then, you know, we go on, and then the next weeks later, you know, the voice is back in the corner saying, pedophile, pedophile. It's not a pedophile if you're having sex with legal age adults, I'm afraid to say, government. Anyway, I just wanted to say too, there's another aspect to this story, which is really, really important. I live in exile as a politically displaced refugee, and I'm seeking asylum within the democracy of my own citizenship. That's a catastrophic character assassination and a brutal indictment on my human rights, and the way that I've been financially abused, and the public guardians now stepped in order to control my finances because I'm unable to look after myself. I just don't get any income because they've withheld it. So the last remaining thing that could beguile my sentience as a sentient being in this Australian culture was my pension. And now the government stepped in and they've taken that pension away from me. So I've actually had no income whatsoever, really, apart from a couple of $100 for the last 4 weeks. and I have no home, and I have no human rights, and I have no legal rights, and yeah, it's a bit of a clusterfuck life, really. Anyway, so I wanted to say one thing. I've managed to blow the whistle on $6 billion in misappropriated funds. How you going, mate? Can I help you? Yeah, good one. There's another gang stalker. They're sent into the neighbourhood. Here we go. Yeah, good on you, mate. You want to be filmed? They're sent into the neighbourhood to intercept me and say things to me and follow me. Agents and gang stalkers, paid thugs, you know. Anyway, I just want to say I've uncovered a $6 billion fraud connected to an unnamed NDIS minister, because if I name him, I'll go to jail. So, Tony Riddle is a former SAS returned special soldier, and he intercepted me on Grindr when I was baked, looking for a route, and we hooked up, and he told me he was from the government. So, and he said he killed someone or something. I didn't know what that meant, so I recorded the entire thing. And it was lucky I did, because he is a senior fraud investigator at the NDIS. We then swapped stories, and he's a targeted individual too, and I'm a targeted individual. And I told him my story as a client of the NDIS, the place he worked investigating fraud, and he reported to me the $6 billion in embezzlement and misappropriated funds, and he described to me how people like me are treated as a, quote, sacrificial lamb. Now, he's well versed in the theatre of war. He's a returned SAS soldier, and he's a commander in the SAS in the army, and he knows all about going in somewhere, weaponising their own culture and getting to meet your needs. So I'm wondering whether Tony's interception of me could have been clearly innocent, because he would have known I'm a rejected whistleblower at the NDIS, and I'm unprotected under the PID Act, as I'm obliged to be protected, and my whole life is just a political reprisal. Now, when he said, when he said all this to me, and I'm a targeted individual, he meant to say that me, as an individual, when it comes to the NDIS, I'm a sacrificial lamb. That means murder. And it can be demonstrated now via my vast amounts of data and evidence that I've uploaded to a server and got an impartial AI generator to extract the key themes and ideas, that my treatment by the Australian government is not impartial, it's targeted, it's malicious, and it has a malice to kill. Now, I've had no income for a whole entire month. I've got no home, got no human, no legal rights. I've been excommunicated from the world and the government, and I have no one and nothing. And here's still the voices are just nearby in the houses as I walk by. Could be the V2K, could be a set-up person who was put there to intercept me. They are really, really going to town on me. And let me just say something. If I can blow the whistle on $6 billion in misappropriated funds, which embroils the NDIS minister and senior politicians, and the fact that powerful profiteers benefit of keeping people like me silenced, then that means that a fraction of $6 billion is the capacity and the budget for getting the one person, the whistleblower, with the knowledge and the honesty and the transparency and the accountability to be able to target them and silence them. And everyone's on board. The problem for me is systemic, it's political, and it's personal. And because of the character assassination, if I died, no one would care. I know this because I've already died once and was revived. So I'm yet to find some critical thinking people who can side with me and just simply come over to my house, sit with me in the room and say, I acknowledge what you're going through. That's a good first step to getting justice. And justice for me isn't about extortion or getting millions of dollars, although I'm probably worth about $50 million for the brutal way the Australian government's murdered me, covered it up, forced me to live in my car, and solicited the conditions necessary for my suicide by an intentional and conscious design of abject poverty, neglect, and torture. So that's my little talk. Do you want to come over? I'm a nice person. Wouldn't you believe it? Do you believe the hype? You know, the funny thing is, people always tell people, you tell a cop, you tell someone, Rachel, come on. Tell a person not to treat me fairly, treat me differently. This is the story. We're going to word you up before you intercept him. And people believe the authority. People like to give their permission to authority. I don't have an allegiance to this government. That's why I'm considered a terrorist, and I'm a doctor of philosophy, and I can intelligently and articulately put this together in a way which is what it is, which is a targeted individual who's disabled, who's suffering severe reprisals, financial abuse, coercive family control, coercive financial control, family violence, and everyone's on board for the killing. It's a human sacrifice, and that's what leads me to believe that I'm either have or want to have the attributes of the Christ consciousness. These are a little religious thing. You know, they're good parables and morals to live by, and I think everyone should live by them. Go on, Tristan, we're going. And I really do think that I'm chosen for this role as a scapegoat to suffer the burden of humans, of mortal humans' judgments to pin on me in order to survive, to come through and to get justice and re-establish some order when the man-made institutions, the government, are corrupt, and put in a little bit of humanity, a little bit of justice, and a little bit of kindness too, and to treat everyone fairly, without bias, impartially, and on the merits of what they are. And it's been a terrible journey for me, but anyway, we're here. Look, Steve Sneedies, hi mate, that's my former partner. He might know where I am now. You can come and kill me, but he won't need to when the government's going to do it for him. Okay, I'm going to head off now. Please go to barondodger.com.au. Every parliamentarian's on it, every cop's on it, every lawyer's on it, every public official, all my family and friends. This is me and Crystal. Without Crystal, I'd be dead. So if I'm the Messiah, she's God. So anyway, we'll just sign off. I'd love to have a coffee with you. Why don't you come over and hang out? Have a great day.